Hello YouTube and Facebook friends. So this is just a quick video on a couple little things that I wish I'd have known or had prior to my Holley Sniper install. There was a couple things, so I'll go through them with you guys now. First thing was this spacer plate. 1-inch spacer plate, hollow bore. I needed that as my throttle linkage was hitting that bolt and that chunk of casting hiding underneath there when it was sitting flat on there. So I had to go out and get myself a spacer plate. So I did that. Lo and behold, the spacer plate I have had these indents. Well, those indents allowed that port in the intake to create a huge vacuum leak. So obviously I didn't think of that before I ordered that spacer plate, but I got this plate made at just a local machine shop in town here. They banged it out for me, and stainless steel, and it'll help seal that up, and that's that. Second thing, my spacer plate came with these studs. The Holley Sniper kit does not come with any bolt down studs. And if you're going from a carburetor to this, I'm not entirely sure you're gonna get your carburetor bolts into those mounting holes. So you probably are gonna wanna get yourself a set of studs that bolt in there. Next up, the PCV port. So my PCV port is right here. It's in the top of my valve cover. I couldn't find anywhere on the Sniper unit itself to connect that PCV port. Lo and behold, right under here, when you pull your Sniper kit out of your box, there's going to be a hex or an Allen key plug in there, and that's actually a vacuum port. So take that out. I went and got a barb fitting, screwed it in there, hooked my PCV onto it, and it's good as new, good to go. So yeah, so you are going to need a barb fitting. I believe it's a 1/2 inch just into the barbed end. So the pink wire, so you're going to read in your instructions from Holley about this pink wire. It's a part of this 10-pin harness, and the only wire you're going to use off of there is this pink one. And you have to be sure that you find a home for it that has 12 volts when you're cranking and at least 12 volts when you're on, 14 when you're running. I ran mine through the firewall right beside my brake booster here, into the firewall, into my fuse panel, and I put it into my backup lights for now. So I have no backup lights, but I could always splice them together and it would be fine. So that port does provide you with adequate power for the ECU for the Sniper. So coolant sensor. I put my coolant sensor into the side of the head right here. That is where your temp switch would go, not your temp gauge. That would be your temp switch, so it would kick your light on if you were overheating. I took it out. I've never had overheating issues with this truck, so I'm not too worried about it. Plus I have a temp gauge, so it's all good. The 3/8 coolant sensor that they send with it will not thread into there. So I had to swedge it down, and I believe it goes from 5/8 down to 3/8. You can get one at your hardware store or nut and bolt store or whatever. So that's also something you're going to need. These old Chevys, stock Chevys, they don't have a lot of coolant ports on the intake or on the motor itself. So I use that one. It's got good flow through there, good temperature reading. The Sniper unit likes it, so it's all good. Big thing I found when you're installing your fuel pump, I'll show you quick here where I installed mine. I installed it on the frame right here. You can see the bolts coming through. Obviously it's on the inside of the frame rail. Easiest point for me to get at with the drill, and it's out of the way inside the frame rail. I could not see on the pump that come with the kit a positive and a negative. There's 2 terminals, but it doesn't say which one is which. I had my unit installed, all hooked up, turned the key, I could hear the pump kick in, but my unit wasn't getting fuel. How do I know it wasn't getting fuel? I took the fuel line off of the back of the Sniper unit, no gas coming out of the fuel line. So lo and behold, I switched the wires, and the pump started working. So if you go, you get everything installed and you're not getting any gas to your unit, that's probably why, or you got a kink in one of your lines. So, yes. With that fuel pump too, they send tiny little screws with it. By the time you get the washers on and get through the frame, they're too short. So go get yourself screws that are twice as long. It'll save you a lot of headache in the long run. Chunk of all thread to hold on the air cleaner. That is a 1/4 inch by 20. If you look on Holley's website, that's what they ship with their Sniper air cleaner kits. If you're coming from a Rochester, I know the chunks of all ready rod that come in that Rochester carb are too big. So there's nothing worse than when you're sitting here and it's all done and you can't put your air cleaner on. So get yourself a 1/4 inch chunk by 20. You can cut it to length, depending on the thickness of your air cleaner. So, and last but not least, a block off plate. You're gonna end up removing obviously your mechanical fuel pump. So that's gonna leave a hole right into your block. Get yourself a mechanical fuel block off plate, and I got a nice fancy chrome one there, and it looks all nice and pretty. So other than that, I think that's about the long and the short of it. This truck's a 72 GMC with a 402 big block, turbo 400. Truck is pretty much all stock. I went right from a Rochester carb to my Holley kit. And yeah, so far so good. So I hope this helps you guys out. And if you need anything else, feel free to put it in the comments or message me, and hopefully I can answer it for you. Enjoy. Okay, so here it is. It's all buttoned up. I got that plate back on where it was creating that vacuum leak in the front here. I'm probably gonna have to reprogram it, just because now it was set to running with that vacuum leak. So I'm just gonna go through the instructions again, start over with the initial setup. It doesn't take long, you'll see once you get at it. But let's fire it up, see how it sounds. Adjustment on there. Like I said, I'm going to go back and reprogram it all.